guys, Brandon here, and in today's video we're going to talk about honing in on your diet. Now, I had a great conversation at the gym the other day, and I thought I'd make a YouTube video so everybody else could kind of learn from it. Now, I was talking to one of my buddies, Ray, and he actually told me that he was going to try a vegan diet. Actually, he's been doing it for about a week now, and I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into why he was doing it. More or less, he was just going for fat loss, and I was kind of asking him some questions along the way, and it turned out that he wasn't even tracking his calories. So I want to just stop there for a sec and say that a lot of these diets, whatever it is, if it's paleo, if it's keto, if it's being a vegan, a lot of these have this overlying foods that you're supposed to eat, or these food lists that you could choose from. And a lot of people focus so much on these foods that they lose track of being in a deficit. So I use this example for Ray just to put things in perspective. Now, I do tend to exaggerate things when I'm trying to prove a point, but it helps kind of get the point across. So I told him, imagine if you only ate, since he's a vegan, if you only ate peanut butter and vegan crackers, if that is such a thing, and that's all you ate all day long, peanut butter and crackers, peanut butter and crackers. So technically you were eating in this vegan realm, but as we all know, peanut butter is very calorically dense. So I told him, if he were to eat peanut butter all day, although he's still eating within the terms of his diet, he might even gain weight. He might lose weight, but more likely than not, he might gain weight just because if he was eating peanut butter all day. So I use that as an example. Some people say, well, I'm not going to eat meat. And they only eat, they eat everything else, but they find other foods that are higher in fat or that are, higher in carbs to compensate for those calories. So if you're not counting your total calories, then you're really missing the boat. So what I described to him as, in order to kind of paint a better picture, is a dartboard. For those of you who are familiar, or not familiar with a dartboard, it is a circular in shape, and there's different rings in it. So I said to him, imagine vegan being like the background of a dartboard. It is a wide range of thinking. And although, if you want to do that for personal reasons or for health reasons, go for it. But if it's for pure weight loss, it might not be the most optimal. Once again, back to the peanut butter and crackers option. If you're going to be eating a caloric surplus, I told him, hey, you might actually gain weight depending on the types of foods that you're choosing. Just because if you're not eating meat, something has to get raised in order to get your food intake. So he might be eating a lot of carbs, and one of the things he said he was eating a lot of was rice. Well, we know rice is pretty dense, and you could eat a lot of it, and those could add up to quite a few calories. So that would be the background of the dartboard. And next I told him, let's work on getting actually in the target circle. And on the outside of the dartboard is that small rim where it's the double points, right? And I said that double points would be basically counting calories. So if you can get into the dartboard, actually would be counting your total calories from whatever foods that you're eating. Now, you could still eat vegan or paleo, whatever you want to eat, but still count your total calories, and that's going to get you one step closer to your goals. Now, if you're a lifter, which I'm assuming many of the people who are turning into my videos are, or somebody in the fitness community, you're probably going to want to have a protein minimum. So we're going to go one step closer, to the center of the circle, and that's where the triple band is and of the dartboard. So if you want, you could have a protein minimum. So for, let's say, somebody that is my size, been lifting, wants to gain muscle, you could have a protein minimum. I weigh about 190 pounds right now, so let's say my absolute minimum protein goal for the day would be 190 grams of protein. And all the rest of my calories could come from either carbs and fats, as long as I'm staying within that outer realm of the dartboard, which are total calories. And I took it a step further for him to kind of paint another picture. I said, if you really want to nail everything, and that's hitting the bullseye every single day, every single time that you eat for weeks on end, is to count individual macronutrients. So although we were counting protein and we were kind of letting carbs and fats land where they may, Now we're hitting that bullseye every single day, having our carbs, our fats, and our protein. Still within that caloric limit, but we're really pinpointing exactly what we're eating. So you could see how as we get towards the center of that dartboard, we start on the outside, on the background, where we're actually missing the whole thing, not scoring any points, and just eating in the terms of vegan or paleo or whatever kind of diet that you may be eating. Atkins is another one. Then if we actually get into the circle, it's calories. If we get a little bit closer, to that triple band, it would be a protein minimum and then fall in carbs and fats, keeping in within that caloric limit. And then for a lot of people, I recommend basically all my clients are on straight set macros. Why? Because I feel like, if you want to throw a dart at a dartboard, what are you trying to aim for every single day? You're going to want to hit that bullseye every single time. Now, there's days where we might not necessarily hit our macros dead on every single time, but then we could fall back to the outer categories, right? We could, on days where, let's say, it's a holiday or we're at a party and we overeat accidentally on carbs and fats, we could still fall back to the protein minimum and keeping under our calories. And then, God forbid, we don't even get our protein minimum in, we could still stay within the caloric limit of that day, and it won't negatively affect our weight, more or less, barring anything extracurricular going on those days. So, that Ray and I kind of stopped working out, and we talked about it for, easily 15 minutes, which is not normally something I do, but it was a really good topic, and, I think he learned a little bit, and I wanted to share with everybody else. So once again, we're trying to narrow in on that bullseye every single day. Let's not just aim for the board and hope we hit it. Let's focus on the bullseye, and then, if we miss a little bit, at least we're very close to our macros. But if we're just throwing blindly at the board, if we're just sticking to a theory of dieting, we really need to sharpen our focus and concentrate on that bullseye. So hopefully, those people out there that don't count their macros, or they don't know where to start on their diet, work from the outside of that dartboard coming in towards the center, and then in time, you'll get better at finding out which macronutrients work best for you. Hopefully you guys found this video informative. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks guys, keep crushing it.